Unpopular Aussie Opinion, Reece Walsh's shocking bolt to the Cowboys, Betrayal or Broncos' own fault after cap crunch. Good day, legends. Welcome back to Unpopular Aussie Opinions, the spot where we tear into the raw underbelly of Australian sport with takes so bold they could start a Barbie brawl at the Gabba. I'm your host, and today, we are unpacking a seismic shift that's left the NRL landscape looking like a post-storm Townsville, chaotic, unexpected, and full of debris. Just weeks after hoisting the Clive Churchill Medal high in a 26-22 grand final thriller over the Melbourne Storm, Reece Walsh, the electrifying fullback who's only 23 but plays like he's got a lifetime of premierships under his belt, has done the unthinkable. He's walked out on the Brisbane Broncos, signing a jaw-dropping $10 million, 5-year deal with the North Queensland Cowboys. That's right, the kid from Ipswich, the bloke who ended 19 years of Broncos heartbreak with a try-scoring, defence-splitting masterclass, is now donning the maroon and yellow up north. The move caps off a brutal saga of salary cap drama at Red Hill, where Walsh's push for a raise turned into a full-blown standoff that the Broncos couldn't, or wouldn't, resolve. Fans are furious, the boardroom's in uproar, and Townsville's already planning a ticker tape parade. In true unpopular Aussie opinion style, I'm calling it, this isn't betrayal, it's the Broncos reaping what they've sown in a cap-squeeze system that's begging for reform. But we'll dissect the fallout, the what-ifs, and why this could reshape the NRL's north-south divide. Buckle up, this one's longer than a Cowboys home game in the wet season. Let's set the scene properly, because this didn't erupt overnight like a tropical squall. Rewind to late September 2025. The Broncos are premiers for the first time since Wally Lewis was dodging tackles like dodgy tax returns. Walsh's grand final heroics, that blistering 70-metre intercept try off Jahrome Hughes, the 3 try assists that had Harry Grant chasing shadows, and a whopping 176 run meters, earn him the Clive Churchill, cementing his status as the league's must-watch man. Suncorp Stadium's a sea of maroon, the faithful belting out this is the greatest town till dawn, and the club's coffers are swelling with sponsor love from Toyota and those corporate bigwigs who flock to winners like flies to a Barbie. Walsh, fresh off his Maroons hat-trick in Origin 3, is the golden boy. But behind the celebrations, cracks are spiderwebbing through Red Hill. Walsh's camp, led by a sharp-as-a-tack agent who's probably got a spreadsheet for every sidestep, tables a request for a bump on his existing deal. He's on around $650,000 for 2025, with a backloaded extension kicking in next year to over $1 million annually till 2029. Fair enough, you reckon? After delivering the drought breaker, the face of the franchise, the bloke whose TikToks rack up more views than a State of Origin opener? But the Broncos, already cap-strapped like a bloke in a too-tight footy jersey, balk. Payne Haas is chewing up $1.1 million as the front-row colossus, Patrick Carrigan's not far off at $950,000 leading from lock, and Adam Reynolds, the veteran halfback who masterminded that comeback despite a dodgy wheel, is locked in at $1 million plus with incentives. Add Ezra Mam's rising star deal at $800,000 and Ben Hunt's mid-season bargain at $550,000 to shore up the spine, and the top 30 squads hugging the $11 million cap like a limpet to a rock. Third-party deals from Rebel and those local punters padded out, but Walsh's ask, a straight $1.2 million average, pushing his total extension north of $6 million, tips it into overload. Here's where the drama ignites, and my first unpopular opinion. The Broncos board played this like a rookie at a judiciary hearing, all bluster, no backbone. Whispers from insiders, and in Brisbane, gossip spreads faster than a Walsh chip kick, say negotiations soured quick. Walsh's team points to Kalen Ponga pocketing $1.4 million up in Newcastle, Nathan Cleary's $1.3 at Penrith after 4 straight flags, and even Dylan Brown's decade-long $13 million anchor at the Eels. We are not undervaluing you, the Broncos counter, but the cap's a beast, mate. We've got to keep the pack fed. Enter the Cowboys, sniffing opportunity like a crack in the Burdekin. Todd Payton, their no-nonsense coach who's turned Townsville into a finals fortress, sees Walsh as the missing spark in their backline. With Tom Dearden pulling strings at 5'8" and Ruben Cotter anchoring the middle, the Cowboys have been knocking on the door, semis in 2024, quarters last year, but lacking that X-factor fullback to turn Scott Drinkwater into a luxury. They table an offer, $10 million over 5 years, averaging $2 million a pop, loaded with performance bonuses for premiership pushes and origin duties. It's a king's ransom, funded by a bumper broadcast deal, mining bucks from Glencore, and that loyal Townsville crowd who packed $25,000 into Queensland Country Bank Stadium rain, hail, or cyclone. Walsh, with his Kiwi mum opening All Blacks whispers from Graham Lowe, that old fox urging $5 million a season for a coat hop, weighs it up. loyalty to the Broncos, where he grew up dreaming of Lockyer's number one, or a blank cheque to build his legacy elsewhere, closer to his Indigenous roots and that North Queensland warmth? By October 10th, it's done. Walsh SIGNS, released early from Brisbane on a hefty transfer fee of $800,000 to ease the cap pain. Shocking. Bloody oath. Genius. For Walsh, absolutely. But let's not gloss over the human toll, because footy's not just stats and shekels, it's blood, sweat, and the odd beer-soaked sing-along. Imagine you're a Broncos diehard, nursing a schooner at the Caxton Hotel, when the news drops via 9 News alert. Walsh, the local lad who painted his nails for his daughter Layla during Origin, the bloke who steadied Ben Hunt mid-grand final collapse with a mate's arm around the shoulders, gone. To the Cowboys, no less, the perennial northern rivals who've poached more talent than a seagull at a beach picnic. Social media erupts. Judas in maroon. Screams one from a Sunnybank account. Broncos owe him nothing after that cap squeeze. Fires back a Logan punter. The locker room. It's a funeral wake. Reynolds, at 34 and eyeing one last crack in 2026, bites his tongue but sources say he's gutted. The skipper who dragged them over the line now loses his spark plug. Mam, Walsh's 5/8 soulmate who danced through storm lines in the prelims, looks lost without his fullback foil. And the fans? Split like a dodgy forward pass. Half bay for blood, petitioning to retire his number 7 jersey in protest. The other half, and here's unpopular opinion too, reckon the Broncos forced his hand. 19 years without a flag, and when glory arrives, they nickel and dime the hero? Remember 2023's salary saga with Haas, when Brisbane let David Fifita slip to the Titans over cap woes. History repeats, and this time, it's their talisman. Walsh didn't burn bridges, he jumped the fence because the gate was locked. Zoom out to the NRL's big picture, and this moves a canary in the coal mine for a game creaking under its own weight. The salary caps ballooned to $11 million for the top 30 in 2025, up from $9.6 in 2019, with third-party padding pushing effective spends to $13 million. It's meant to keep parity. No Storm-style super teams hoarding talent, but in practice? It's a joke. Big city clubs like the Roosters and Panthers leverage Sydney dollars and sponsor largesse to lock in stars, while Northern battlers scrape by. The Cowboys, bless 'em, have struck gold here. Walsh slots in at fullback, Drinkwater shifts to the halves for versatility, and suddenly their attack's lethal as a stonefish. Payton's already plotting a prelim rematch vibe for 2026, with Walsh's speed terrorizing southern defences. But the ripple? Chaos. Selwyn Cobbo, off-contract end of 25, bolts to the Warriors on a $1 million a year deal, gutted by the Walsh exit. Kotoni Staggs, that centre's powerhouse, sniffs around the Dragons for stability. The Broncos' backline's a revolving door, enter young guns from the Broncos' feeders, but good luck matching Walsh's flair. Unpopular opinion 3. The cap's archaic, mate. Time for a luxury tax like the NBA's, where big spenders pay into a pot for the minnows. Or revenue shares from those Vegas doubleheaders and London Ashes tours. Walsh's 10 mil? It's the symptom, not the disease. Without reform, we'll see more bolters. Luai to the Sharks was cute. Imagine Munster eyeing Manchester next. Now, peel back the man behind the headlines, because Reece Walsh isn't some mercenary chaser, he's a yarn straight out of Queensland heartland. Born in Ipswich, that blue-collar bastion where footy's religion and the heat's a constant companion, Walsh was dodging tackles on dusty fields by age 5. Dad's a Sparky, Mum's Kiwi Fire, and little Layla, his 3-year-old firecracker, is the anchor who had him inking that grand final ring on her finger amid the confetti blizzard. Remember the 2023 Judiciary Storm? That punch-up clip that had the league in meltdown? Walsh owned it, copped the fine, channeled the noise into fuel. Injuries? Knee Rico in 24 that sidelined him for 8 weeks, testing his mettle when the Broncos flirted with the spoon. Yet he bounces back, every time. 40-20s that kiss the corner, grubbers that bamboozle, and that left foot step that's left more defenders flat-footed than a bad dance at a wedding. Post-move, he posts on Insta, tough call, but right for my family and future. Broncos forever in the heart, Cowboys for the fight. Townsville laps it up, Indigenous elders welcoming him home to country, kids in dairy farmers' jerseys already idolising the Ipswich import. Unpopular take 4. Good on Walsh for prioritising peace over postcode. Brisbane's pressure cooker would have crushed lesser men. Up north, he builds empires without the spotlight's glare. Agents? Sure, they're in his ear with numbers that'd make a bookie blush. But at 23, With a daughter to raise and a body that's taken more hits than a punching bag, 10 million secures the legacy. Spare a sob for the collateral, though. The Cowboys' spine. Transformed. Dearden and Walsh linking like Lockyer and Langer, Cotter and Little rumbling forward. It's a premiership blueprint. But Valentine Holmes, their incumbent fullback who's battled injuries like a warrior in the wet, gets shuffled to the wing or reserves. Harsh. And the Broncos? Michael Maguire, the new coach with his drill sergeant Kiwi grit, inherits a rebuild mid-dynasty. Reynolds limps to 2026 on fumes. Hunt's bargain deal looks like fool's gold without Walsh's polish. And the cap? Still bloated, forcing sales of mid-tier talent like Jordan Ricky to the Bulldogs. Fans from the Hill to the hotel bars mutter about curses. That 2006 grand final choke, the 2015 wooden spoon sequel. Unpopular Opinion 5. This exodus exposes the Broncos' flaw, too reliant on one star. Walsh carried them, sure, but a spine of Reynolds, Mam, and Haas should have been bulletproof. Instead, cap drama turns heroes to history. Townsville, meanwhile, erupts. Membership spiked 20% overnight. The stadium's electric with Walsh. Walsh! Chants echoing off the cane fields. It's the North's time. Finally, no more bridesmaids for the Cowboys. Gaze into the tea leaves for 2026. And the NRL's a tinderbox. Broncos scramble, poaching a gun hooker from the Titans juniors. But finals? A coin flip without Walsh's wizardry. Cowboys? Premiership favourites at $5 the flag, with Walsh's speed unlocking Vunahelu's brute force on the edge. The league-wide shockwave? Every young gun, think Haylan Papaliai at the Broncos or the Roosters' young bucks, eyes the open market come November, demanding Cowboys cash. The Commission, already hiking the cap to 12 mil for 27, scrambles with investigations into third-party loopholes. My sixth unpopular opinion: Walsh's move is the wake-up call we needed. No more mollycoddling the cap. Introduce player revenue shares from streaming wars with Nine and Fox, or global tours that rake in pounds from London derbies. Footy's a billion-dollar beast now, pay the talent, or watch him bolt to rugby union like Joseph Okuso Swali did in reverse. 10 million shocks today. But tomorrow? It's the entry fee for elites. Wrapping this whirlwind, Reece Walsh's Cowboys coup, born from Broncos cap calamity, is less shock and more symptom of a game at the crossroads. Betrayal? Nah, business. The kid chased security after delivering glory. Brisbane fumbled the loyalty test. What's your take? Walsh a traitor or trailblazer? Hammer the comments. Like if you're Team North, subscribe for more unpopular Aussie opinions slicing through NRL, AFL, and cricket's sacred cows. Share with a mate still salty in the southern stands. Catch you next time. Keep the faith, keep the opinions fierce. Cheers.